The endless fire. The universe was dying. This was not a theory, not a prediction. It was observable fact. Stars across the cosmos had begun to exhaust their fuel at an accelerated rate, a phenomenon that defied all known astrophysical models. The Great Decline, scientists called it. One by one, suns flickered and failed, their deaths witnessed by countless civilizations huddled around the diminishing warmth of their dying worlds. Yet at the center of a modest spiral galaxy, third planet from an unremarkable yellow star, humanity endured. Earth's sun should have joined the cosmic funeral procession eons ago. Instead, it burned with the steady brilliance of a star in its prime, defying the universal decay that consumed its stellar neighbors. The light that bathed the blue-green world remained constant while darkness crept through the cosmos. Fleet Commander Ilara Voss stood at the observation deck of Orbital Platform 7, her weathered face illuminated by Earth's improbable sun. At 173 years old, she was still considered young by modern human standards. Genetic engineering, cellular regeneration, and quantum consciousness transfers had extended human lifespans well beyond a millennium. "Commander, we've detected an anomaly at the heliopause," reported Lieutenant Kai, his holographic presence materializing beside her. Ilara's eyes narrowed. Classification: unknown vessel configuration. Multiple signatures. They've breached the outer solar boundary and are decelerating toward Neptune's orbit. This was unprecedented. In the 3 centuries since humanity had withdrawn from galactic affairs, focusing inward on the preservation of Sol, no alien species had ventured this deep into their territory. "Alert the Council," Ilara ordered, "and prepare the Guardian Fleet." Within hours, Earth's defensive armada had mobilized, 100 sleek vessels powered by the same mysterious energy that kept their sun burning eternal. They assembled in formation near Jupiter, a gleaming barrier between Earth and the approaching intruders. The alien fleet emerged from the darkness of deep space. 17 ships, their hulls pitted and scourged from long journeys through harsh cosmic environments. Their design was organic, almost skeletal, as if grown rather than built. Most bore visible damage. 2 appeared to be operating on emergency power. "They're broadcasting," Lieutenant Kai announced. A figure materialized on the command deck, tall, gaunt, with translucent skin that revealed a complex network of luminescent veins. Its eyes were enormous, solid black, reflecting no light. "People of the endless fire." The alien spoke in a voice that seemed to bypass sound entirely, resonating directly in the minds of the humans. "We are the Voidwalkers. We seek sanctuary." Ilara stepped forward. "I am Fleet Commander Ilara Voss of Earth. State your purpose." "We have traveled for 300 of your years, fleeing the darkness. Our home stars have died. We detected your sun, the only one in this sector that defies the Great Decline." The alien's form flickered. "We seek to understand. We seek to survive." The Council debated for 17 hours before granting the Voidwalkers restricted access to the outer planets. They were permitted to establish temporary bases on Neptune's moons, but forbidden to approach Earth or venture inside Mars' orbit. For weeks, the arrangement held. The Voidwalkers kept to their designated zone, seemingly content to bask in the distant warmth of humanity's undying star. Scientific and cultural exchanges began cautiously, with both species sharing knowledge of their respective civilizations. The Voidwalkers revealed themselves to be an ancient race, older than humanity by millions of years. They had once controlled vast territories spanning multiple galaxies, but the Great Decline had reduced them to nomads, their population dwindling as star after star expired. "How many of you survive?" Ilara asked during one exchange with Nexar, the Voidwalkers' leader. "Less than 1 million, Nexar answered. "Once, we numbered in the trillions." "And how many other species have you encountered since the decline began?" 17,836. Nexar's mental voice carried a weight of sorrow. "None remain." It was during the 3rd month that the incident occurred. A Voidwalker scout ship violated the inner boundary, accelerating suddenly toward Mars. 3 Guardian vessels intercepted it, but not before it had scanned the Phobos installation, humanity's most closely guarded secret. The scout was disabled, and its crew detained. When questioned, they claimed navigation malfunction, but the precision of their course suggested otherwise. That night, Ilara was summoned to an emergency council session held deep within Mount Olympus on Mars. "They know," announced Director Chen, head of Sol Preservation. His holographic form shimmered with agitation. "Their scan penetrated our outer defenses. They've seen the cradle." A heavy silence fell over the assembled leaders. The cradle was humanity's greatest achievement and most terrible burden. The vast network of quantum manipulators that sustained their sun through artificial fusion enhancement. For millennia, humanity had fed the star, sacrificing resources and energy to maintain its life-giving fire. "How much did they learn?" Ilara asked. "Enough to understand the principle," Chen replied. "Not enough to replicate it." High Counselor Amara Rhodes, Earth's senior leader, stood. At over 800 years old, she had personally overseen the cradle's last major upgrade. "We have a choice to make. The Voidwalkers are desperate. Their civilization faces extinction. They will want our technology. And if we refuse?" someone asked. Rhodes' expression darkened. "Then we must prepare for conflict." The confrontation came sooner than expected. That same night, all 17 Voidwalker vessels broke orbit around Neptune's moons, accelerating in perfect formation toward Earth. Ilara mobilized the Guardian fleet, establishing the defensive perimeter at the asteroid belt. "This is Commander Voss of Earth," she broadcast. "Return to your designated zone immediately, or we will consider this an act of aggression." Nexer's response came instantly. "We have seen your miracle, humans. The cradle that feeds your star. We have spent eons searching for such technology." His mental voice was strained, desperate. "Our last worlds die. Our children will never know warmth. Share your knowledge, or we will take it." The Voidwalker ships continued their approach, weapons systems powering up. They outnumbered the Guardian fleet, but human technology was superior, hardened by millennia of innovation, while the aliens had merely struggled to survive. "Last warning," Ilara transmitted. "Stand down." Instead, the Voidwalkers launched their assault, a coordinated attack on multiple vectors. Energy beams lanced through space, connecting with the shields of human vessels. The battle had begun. For 6 hours, the void between Mars and Jupiter became a theater of destruction. Human ships maneuvered with precision, their weapons targeting propulsion and weapons systems rather than critical life support. The Voidwalkers fought with desperate ferocity, sacrificing ships to breach the defensive line. 3 Voidwalker vessels broke through, racing toward Mars and the Phobos installation. Ilara pursued in her flagship, the Prometheus, intercepting them just as they achieved orbit around the red planet. "Commander," Lieutenant Kai's voice was tense. "Phobos reports that the cradle is destabilizing from the battle's energy readings. If it fails..." She didn't need him to finish. If the cradle failed, the sun would begin to die like all the others. Billions would perish. "Nexar," Ilara broadcast on all frequencies. "You're endangering the very technology you seek. Your actions could destroy the cradle and doom us all." For several moments, there was silence. Then Nexar's ship ceased fire. "Prove your claim," the alien demanded. Ilara made a decision that would alter the course of both civilizations. "I'm transmitting telemetry data from the cradle. See for yourself." The stream of information would show the Voidwalkers the delicate balance maintained by the quantum network, and how the energy discharged in battle was creating dangerous feedback loops in the system. Nexar's ship remained motionless for long minutes as they processed the data. Finally, he responded. "We stand down," he announced, the mental voice subdued. "We did not come to destroy, only to survive." As the fighting ceased, the damaged ships of both fleets hung in space like wounded leviathans, Ilara ordered medical teams to assist the injured Voidwalkers, a gesture that surprised the aliens. Later, as emergency repairs began, Nexer requested a direct meeting. In a pressurized chamber aboard the Prometheus, human and Voidwalker faced each other physically for the first time. "Why help us after we attacked you?" Nexer asked. Ilara studied the alien's ethereal form. "Because we understand desperation. Humanity nearly destroyed itself many times before we learned better ways. The cradle technology," Nexer said. "It is magnificent, but I sense there is more to the story than you have shared." Ilara nodded slowly. "There is. And tomorrow, if your people agree to peace, the Council has authorized me to show you the full truth of what keeps our star burning." "What truth is that?" Nexer's black eyes reflected the soft light of the chamber. "That every miracle," Ilara replied, "requires sacrifice." Legacy of light. Dawn broke over the Martian surface, the light of humanity's undying sun casting long shadows across the red landscape. Inside the Phobos installation, carved deep into Mars' largest moon, representatives of two civilizations gathered to witness humanity's greatest secret. Ilara led the small delegation, 3 council members including High Counselor Rhodes, herself, and Lieutenant Kai. The Voidwalkers were represented by Nexer and 2 others, Zera, their chief scientist, and Talon, their military commander. "What you're about to see," began Rhodes, her ancient voice steady, "has been seen by fewer than 1,000 humans throughout our history. They descended through 27 security layers, each requiring unique biometric identification from all 3 council members. The final door, composed of neutronium alloy, parted to reveal a chamber that defied conventional understanding of space. The interior was vast, impossibly so, given the physical dimensions of Phobos. Quantum engineering had created a pocket dimension within the moon, housing a structure that spanned what appeared to be kilometers. At the center floated a perfect replica of the sun, miniaturized to perhaps 50 meters in diameter, but containing every feature of the original: the plasma currents, the magnetic fields, the nuclear furnace at its core. Around this model orbited countless drones, each injecting streams of energy and matter into precise coordinates. "The simulation cradle," Rhodes announced. "Our sun exists in perfect symmetry with this model. What happens here is replicated there through quantum entanglement at the subatomic level." Nexer's mental voice was hushed with awe. "You control fusion at a stellar scale." "We guide it," corrected Dr. Imani Okafor, the Council's scientific representative. "But there's more to it than technology." She gestured to a section of the chamber where hundreds of transparent pods were arranged in concentric circles. Inside each pod was a human, suspended in a silvery fluid, eyes closed, bodies thin and pale. "The sustainers," Rhodes explained, "volunteers who give their consciousness to the network. Their minds help calculate the nearly infinite variables required to maintain stellar stability." Zera, the Voidwalker scientist, moved closer to examine the pods. "They live like this. They serve 10-year shifts," Ilara said. "Their consciousness exists primarily within the cradle matrix. They experience time differently, subjectively. They perceive perhaps a month where we experience a decade. And this is the sacrifice you mentioned," Nexer observed. "One of them," Rhodes replied. "The greater sacrifice is what powers the system." Dr. Okafor activated a holographic display showing a schematic of the solar system. Highlighted in blue was a network of thousands of stations positioned throughout the outer system, particularly concentrated in the Kuiper belt. "Mass converters," she explained. "For millennia, we've been systematically consuming our own solar system to feed our sun." The truth stunned the Voidwalkers into silence. Talon, the military commander who had been skeptical and hostile, spoke for the first time. "You are destroying your own planets to sustain one star." "The outer planets, yes. The process is slow but constant. We've consumed approximately 60% of the mass beyond Mars, At current rates, we have another 20,000 years before we would need to consider the inner planets. But why? Nexar asked. Why not simply relocate, find a younger star? Because we discovered something about the Great Decline, Rhodes said. It isn't natural. The accelerated stellar decay is artificial. This revelation changed everything. The holographic display shifted to show comparative analysis of star death across multiple galaxies, revealing patterns that could not be coincidental. We don't know who or what is causing it, Dr. Okafor continued. But we've confirmed it began at the galactic rim and moves inward like a wave. Some cosmic entity or force is consuming stellar energy at a fundamental level. This is why we withdrew from galactic affairs, Ilara added, to focus all our resources on preserving our home star while we search for a permanent solution. Nexar's form seemed to pulse with intensity. Our ancient texts speak of the devourer of light that would one day empty the sky. We dismissed it as myth. Perhaps not myth after all, Rhodes said gravely. We've been fighting this battle alone. But now we need not fight alone. Nexar finished. Your technology and our knowledge of the cosmos. Together we might find an answer. The alliance formed that day would reshape the future of both civilizations. The Voidwalkers shared their vast archives, records of stellar patterns spanning billions of years across thousands of galaxies. Humanity offered limited access to cradle technology, teaching the aliens how to create smaller versions that could extend the life of failing stars. 6 months later, the first joint mission launched from Earth orbit, the starship Prometheus II, crewed by both humans and Voidwalkers. Its destination, the dying red giant where they would test a portable cradle system. Ilara stood on the command deck beside Nexar as the great vessel accelerated toward the jump point. Do you believe it will work? The Voidwalker asked. The portable cradle. The simulations are promising, but technology isn't our greatest strength. What is? Ilara gestured to the bridge, where humans and Voidwalkers worked side by side. This. Throughout our history, humanity has faced extinction many times. We've survived because we adapt, we cooperate, we refuse to surrender. And now we found kindred spirits in your people. The mission was successful beyond all expectations. The portable cradle stabilized the red giant, extending its life by thousands of years. The technology was refined, miniaturized further. Additional missions followed, each saving another dying star. 5 years after first contact, a network of cradles spanned 3 neighboring star systems. Voidwalker remnants scattered across the galaxy began the long journey to these havens of sustainable light. Other species, previously unknown, detected the persistent stars and came seeking salvation. On the 10th anniversary of the Alliance, Ilara, now Admiral of the Combined Fleet, addressed the Interstellar Council from the observation deck of Orbital Platform 7, the same spot where she had first received news of the Voidwalkers' arrival. We face an enemy we cannot yet name, she told the assembled representatives of 17 species, something that consumes the very light of creation. But we are no longer alone in this fight. She gestured to the display showing the growing network of stabilized stars, points of defiance against the encroaching darkness. Each star we save becomes a beacon, drawing others to our cause. Each civilization that joins us brings new knowledge, new perspectives. Together, we will solve this cosmic mystery. Nexar, now serving as the Voidwalker ambassador, stepped forward. When my people first came here, we sought only to take, to survive. We did not understand that the true power of the undying star was not its technology, but the spirit of those who maintained it. The Alliance continued to grow. Research outposts studied the advancing wave of stellar decay, gathering data, testing theories. The mass converters were redesigned to harness energy from black holes and neutron stars, preserving habitable worlds while still feeding the cradles. 20 years after first contact, a breakthrough came from an unexpected source. A young human Voidwalker hybrid scientist named Ilara Nexar Voss daughter of the admiral and the ambassador. Her team discovered the nature of the devourer, not a malevolent entity, but a fundamental shift in quantum vacuum energy propagating through the universe. With this knowledge came the means to counter it. The network of cradles was reconfigured to generate a stabilizing field that could be gradually expanded, creating pockets of normal spacetime where stars could burn according to their natural life cycles. Humanity's undying star had become the seed from which a new cosmic order would grow. Islands of light in a darkening universe, sanctuaries where life could continue and civilizations flourish. Standing together on Earth's surface, watching the sunset that had remained constant through millennia of cosmic change, Ilara and Nexar contemplated the legacy they had built. "We still have much work to do," Nexar observed. "The field extends to only a few hundred light years." "True," Ilara agreed. "But remember where we began. One species, one star, standing alone against the end of everything. Now look at us." She gestured to the night sky where the first stars were becoming visible, not just distant suns, but outposts of the Alliance, each protecting billions of lives. "We are the children of the undying star," she said, "and we will not go quietly into the darkness."